This is Frank Schaeffer, and if you think it was an accident somehow that Roe was reversed and women were stripped of their basic rights and that the GOP-controlled Supreme Court would come to its senses sometime, think again. They have just overturned affirmative action as a means for recruiting students. And this means that they have clearly declared the white nationalist and Christian nationalist agenda to be the agenda of the United States. Every single candidate running for president for the GOP, the Republican Party, has stood up and endorsed this. 9 states have already rolled back big portions of affirmative action to the extent that they could within the law. And in every single instance, the 9 states that have done this said they would come up with other means to include underrepresented minorities. Well, guess what? The numbers of underrepresented minorities, Hispanic, Black, tanked. And what it really means is that there's a huge growing population of people that will not be in college getting higher education in any form because the GOP idea about the alternatives to affirmative action is basically to pretend like there's not a problem. It's exactly the same as Roe v. Wade. The alternative to women having access to health care is the death of women, the limit of their choice. Also, an inability to continue being educated because now you are forced to bear a child and pregnant. The Supreme Court of the United States is now an appendage of the Republican Party, and not just any part of the Republican Party. For instance, my old friend Jack Kemp, who was a vice presidential candidate and a congressman for years, who was not a racist and for affirmative action as a Republican, his kind no longer can be found within the Republican Party. This is a misogynist, racist organization, and it has to be fought into the ground and destroyed. What has been done by the Supreme Court today is evil. Yes, I'm using an unfashionable, old-fashioned word, evil. It is cynical because they have 9 states they could have examined to see what the result would be in other creative solutions to racial inequality and inequity. The Supreme Court of the United States is racist, period. Corrupt, billionaires funding their own personal agendas against abortion and against affirmative action by sending these people on $100,000 holiday getaways and providing free jet travel and all the rest of it. It's an abomination. The Supreme Court of the United States is not a court. It is simply part of the Republican Party, part of the far right, part of the extremist move of the post-Trump era of Republican politics. In the next election, if we vote for any Republican and a continuation of the appointment of justices to the Supreme Court and the federal bench, who are white nationalists, Christian nationalists, racist to the core, basically telling Black Americans and Hispanic Americans to get lost. We don't care about you. What is the alternative for a Black woman who's pregnant? Well, she's not getting an abortion. Is she going to be able to go to college with some help? No, because we have basically slammed that door too. What about her Black male counterpart or her Black transgender or gay counterpart? Forget it. We're not going to help anybody. The door is closed. Look at the 9 states that have tried this and see what they have provided. Nothing. This is slow motion Jim Crow. Women, forget it. We don't like you. We don't want you. You're baby-making machines. Black and Hispanic people and underprivileged minorities, forget it. We will do nothing for you. We want to shove you back 150 years. You are chattel property to us. The Supreme Court is disgusting. My name is Frank Schaeffer.